Welcome to ANB Gold 7 Part 6, I think. I've just spent about 3 hours of real life time running down 1 hour of EXP and gold find boosters on Troll 90 and only Troll 90. I've just hit champion level 1801, which is good. I was hoping to get somewhere around 1800. It's getting very late, it's gone 11 PM. What I want to do is drop back to trial 80 just for these final 11 and a bit minutes. The reason for that is that today has been terrible on Troll 90. I've had 5 or 6 instances where there haven't been enough mobs on the map to spawn a boss. A lot of boss fights I'm having none of my trinkets or other random effects proc, so those have gone slowly. The fastest Troll 90 run today was 40 seconds, which was a very big surprise. The slowest 90, which is ridiculous, and the difference between those two, given that yesterday my slowest run was 59 seconds and the fastest was 39, and that's what I was expecting would happen today. My biggest concern, and this is the reason I'm dropping back to 80 now that I've hit sort of the 1800 champion level mark, salvaging has gone awful as well. I am very low still on greater essence of shadow, and this is the one that's going to be used the most, and it's turned out to be the worst performing. I've had instances where I've thrown in 30 items for salvage and it's come back and said, here's 5 greater essence of shadow. Thank you very much. On the slightly more positive side, I think there is enough within the other essences to convert things up to make up the shortfall on shadow. That makes me slightly worried on the gold balance then, but we'll see how that goes. What I'm going to do is run down these 11 minutes on trial 80 because 80 is going to go much faster than 90. So I should be able to farm more materials, which is now my biggest concern. The other thing was on the skills front, the ones that I was saying in yesterday's video or the previous video about getting celerity, fleet-footed and intense training up to 10 once I'd got all other skills up to 9, so that's happened quite easily. So I've hit synergy level 175. I'm not going to use any more books on anything. Not going to hit synergy 180. It's the max attack speed was what I was looking for. Not that it's doing anything for me at the moment for EXP farming. This is another slight negative point with the patch that came in. We used to have a button down here which would expand this information, and it would give you your attacks or hits per second down to 2 decimal places, whereas here all I can see 5.7. I don't know if that's 5.749 or something, in which case I could go and stick in a brilliant gemstone and take that over 5.75. At the moment I'm either doing 5.5 hits per second. That's what I think I'm actually doing. I'm not going to waste time in the training grounds confirming that, but I tend to find that hits per second, they have breakpoints, so you have 5, 5.25, 5.5, 5.75 and then 6. So if that's 5.7, it's probably less than 5.75. So I think I'm getting 5.5 hits per second there, but I can't see. They've removed that second decimal point. If I could put that back, that would be lovely. So what I'll do is I will finish my farming, see where we are with materials, craft the EXP farmings, the push gear, and then we'll go through to trial 130, and that shall be today's video. After that I shall probably, I don't know what I'm going to record from push beyond 130. We'll see how the PC's behaving with recording. If it's too laggy or frame drops, then I might not record that, but we'll certainly be back with how finished at the end of the event, so something on Sunday as well, and sort of wrap up process and how what happens at the end of the event. Although by the time you see that video the event will have ended and you've probably already figured that out, but it's there for anyone new coming to this in the future after ANB. So I shall catch you again very shortly to see where we are. Okay, so the experience farm gold boost ticked down to 0 just as I finished the last run of trial 80. By dropping from 90 to 80, it cost me, I'm going to say 5, maybe 6 champion levels, but it got me an extra 5 runs at trial 80. If I'd stuck at 90 the way things have gone today, I would have had 11 runs there, and I got 16 runs out of trial 80, so we're good. This definitely is too low. I'm hoping with others that we can top that up. Once I've gone through and done the crafting, which is going to be tomorrow because it's nearly quarter to midnight and I want to sleep before I craft the push gear, I'll see how that looks. If it looks like I'm still close to a second 77, I'm not going to use anywhere near, probably not even an hour for pushing, probably 45 minutes. So it could be that I pop another couple of boosters and do an extra 30 minutes farming of just trial 80 to get a lot of materials together, which might be enough to get the second 77 if it doesn't pop out early in the batch, or the second batch. We've definitely got enough to get 177, so it's all fingers crossed on what happens thereafter. So I will see you again very shortly in the video, and it will be another day in real time. And in the blink of the eye, it is morning here, so we can craft our push set now. I'm not going to record all of this because me sitting here crafting 80 odd items is going to be absolutely tedious. What I'm going to do is probably just craft one item, which I think will be a level 74 helmet. And you think, well, that's a bit bold of me to suggest it's going to be a 74. Just looking at the ratios of items left in this first batch of 64, we've got 177, 276, 375, 7 74s, 12 73s, 26 72s and a 71. And because it likes to stick to this probability curve or distribution curve, whatever you want to call it, 74s and 72s are looking out of sync at the moment. They're a little bit high. I think you'd like to be 375, 6 74s, 12 73s and 24 72s. So I think the next 3 crafts, I can't say what order they're going to be, but I think we've got 2 72s and a 74 coming out. So I am going to go and craft the Elemental Lord Regalia Helm. It'll be a level 71 legendary. Haste, ability rate, power. I'm going to stick a life on hit on this one. So I'm looking at 4, possibly 5 life on hits. So let's see if my guess about a 74 being due within 3 crafts is correct. It was the first one. Oh, there we are. So I'm expecting 2 72s up next. And then after that I think it's going to be a mix of 72s and 73s. A 76 might be coming along in a short while after that as well, or maybe a 71 or 77, who knows. So I will cut the video and we shall reconvene once I've finished my crafting. I just noticed I've got a socket on that as well. Yippee! I've decided to record this next craft because I think it will either be a level 77 or a level 71. Now I've crafted a, albeit not particularly good, level 76 igneous. I'm not going to go for a 77, so I'm going to, the problem is I've got a couple of push Basis Tempestus on my main account already, so do I really want to craft another one for AM out of ANB? I know what I'm missing on my main account, which would be actually a Frostfire sash. Let's throw in power. Let's see if we get a 71 or a 77 here. We got the 71. Hehe. I knew it was one of them. Okay. So I can carry on crafting. Everything is in perfect balance again now. 177, 176, 2 75s, 4 74s, 8 73s and 16 72s. So I shall get back to crafting things that I need to finish off for the armour and then reconvene here at the end for reals this time. Okay, so the crafting is done. I've decided to stop after 64 crafts, so I'm only bringing 177 out of this ANB. I'm not too upset about that, to be honest. I've still got masses of material on my main account and gold's easy to come by. Yes, it's a lot cheaper to craft in ANB than it is outside, but our essences of shadow were a big problem. If I was to try and do another 64 just to get another 77, I'm only going to see marginal increases on what I already have. I had a disaster as well in that on my trinkets I initially rolled them with a fire damage stat because I've been playing Death from Above and not thinking and not enough sleep after a late night. And we're obviously using frost beam and we want frost damage, so I had to burn through a load of gems re-rolling them from fire to frost. So don't do that. Everything's enchanted as well. I'll run through what I did. So helm, haste, ability rate, power. I've gone with quite a few life on hits, more life on hit than I intended, but I was trying to save essences of shadow or greater essences of shadow so that we could get through everything. Of course, on the helm, very useful for push, completely useless for XP farming. So we've got the osmosis enchant on here, so every 2 seconds our damage increases by 1%. The Necklace is still what we've been using for experience, so we're giving up 225 power here, which is why my damage stat is a lot lower than it would normally be. I've changed the gemstone in it to a ruby. I've thrown in as many rubies as I felt comfortable doing, just to push the damage stat up a bit. On the shoulders, haste ability rate power, more life on hit. I wanted about 3000. We'll see soon that there's a lot more than that. And I've added 100 power as an enchantment there. On the robe, haste ability rate power, more life on hit. Added some power there and some armor. And that is enchanted with vitality because I have more than enough life on hit coming out of the other gear that we have. Fire Lily, got a 76, haste ability rate, frost damage, vitality. Talisman of Power, haste ability rate, frost damage, vitality. On the arm guards, haste ability rate, more life on hit and some vitality. I've added armor on here just to boost some toughness a bit. Bracer, gone with epics. It still took about 15 attempts to get one with frost beam on it, so haste ability rate and frost damage. Pants is, oh, you see I've gone with a 73 on the Frostfire sash as well here. That's because these had either excellent or perfect stats across the board, so I think possibly on here it's close to a good 74, an excellent stroke nearly perfect 73, so I thought there's no point wasting materials trying to get a 74 that might be worse than this one, so going with a 73 there. The pants, haste ability rate, movement speed, life on hit, and movement speed enchant. Haste ability, boots, haste ability rate, movement speed, vitality, movement speed. These came out at 77. Important thing to do with your level 77s is to, if you don't have a socket in them, put the socket in while it's still an ephemeral legendary item. It's a lot cheaper than trying to put that socket in after you apply a celestial transform. Once it's a celestial transform, it becomes a normal piece of gear, and the socketing, reduced socketing costs no longer apply. So you probably get away with about 60 gems or whatever to add a socket to a ephemeral 77, and probably 400 to add it in once you've done the celestial transform. So put that socket in first. Rings are still exactly as we had before. These have now just got vitality gemstones in rather than ability rate that we had before. The Glacis Tempestus, haste ability rate, power, vitality. We've got the obfuscation enchants that we take less damage from distance since we fight at range. That's nice. Staff isn't brilliant. Damage rolled is very poor, but we're going to fix that in a moment. Haste ability rate, power, life on hit, and Slayer enchant is on here as well. Loads of gold left over. Said we had more than enough. Obviously there's more than enough there to do another 64 crafts, but I was very concerned that I won't have enough shadows even converting things and it'll get too expensive, and I'm not bothered. We're not trying to push too far in this event. So what we need to still do is apply our celestial transforms. So we've got 77 boots, we're sticking one on those. So that now gives us It's pushed all the stats to within 2 celestial orbs of maximum, and we've got a almost maximum vitality as well added. And I said I'm going to fix this poor damage here on this staff. So since we don't have another 77 to apply this to, I'm going to stick this second celestial transform onto the staff, which has pushed up our damage considerably from 1400 to 1600. And then these are near perfect stats for a level 76. So what has that just done for our stats? So now this is going to drop at higher trials in the 140 plus possibly. Well, actually I can get away with that still. I like it over 500,000 on a fire lily. Ideally 600,000, but we're giving up a lot of power from our jewellery in this, so I'm happy with that. Those extra vitalities have pushed the toughness up as well. Just want to see later in the push if I was to drop this. That's good. That's very good. That's very horrible. That doesn't matter. We're not going to be going into the realms where we need to be doing anything with those. So what I will be doing next is we need to get to trial 130. So I'm just going to have a quick 5-minute break here, and then we shall record the runs to 130. I'll stop recording and get this video up on YouTube for you all to enjoy. One last thing before we run into trials. I've just bought some stew from the Alice at the inn, which will increase our health by 10%. I've bought 10 of those. That's 100 minutes, so that's going to get us very close to the end of the event. So yeah, I've got 105 minutes there. 100. I'm not going to use all of that. I might, after this first run, pop 100% booster. I don't know, probably not actually. We're just going to run with that. I'm not going to bother with getting coffee as well, just because these slow moving mobs are going to be very tedious. We need to play slightly differently. Where are we unlocked up to? 116. It'd be nice to run this fast enough to, actually we'll do 115, it'll be faster. It'd be nice if I could unlock straight to 130. I doubt that's going to be the case, but we'll see how far we get with this first run, which may be very rusty because it's the first run of the day. Let's make sure we have Frostbeam in. So build, all I've changed from EXP farming is Death from Above has come out, Frostbeam has gone in. For now we can keep Glass Cannon. The only problem we're going to come across are the bugged deceitful mobs that will one hit you even with 6 million toughness, so I'm not going to worry about those. We're going to die a lot. We're going to have janky controls and run all over the place in awkward manner. We have a far from ideal map. We've been here. I need to close a curtain after this because the sun's shining right on the screen and I can't see anything. So this is a big problem with those mobs. Get too far ahead, they one hit you, everything splits and you've lost the pool. This is terrible. For it to come back. That was horrible. I'm going to pause the video, close the curtains so I can actually see the screen, and then we should carry on. And back we go. Let's see where we've unlocked to. On the not particular. Do we want to fight Garm at 124? No. Let's go and fight. That would be nice, but it's going to be terribly laggy when he leaps in the air. Oh well. We'll have to put up with that. It was doing this to me yesterday, virtually every run in a cave. Running away, there's a one hit kill you to death mob out there. Oh dear. Such movement speed abilities. Run away, get out of this circle. That didn't lag too much. This we can eat. He's somehow gone behind me for that. Okay, eating two of them probably isn't the best choice. Three of them is a terrible idea. What happened there was the mouse decided it didn't want to move anywhere. that was awful. But we've got our 120 milestone glory. Typical that we get a 75 dropping there. I doubt that was even good enough to unlock 130. 128. Oh, want to fight him again. 127, 130. Recording finished. We can all have a nice day. I can stop playing so terribly. Much prefer to run through the entire level, grab everything, ball them up and beam them, but as you can see we have incredibly slow moving mobs. I need to think where I want the broken dragon to spawn, somewhere out here in the open. Around those. Well, that was better. Probably because I played a few levels now. What I didn't do earlier, I'll probably do that actually at the end of the video, is just run through the stats. Obviously you've seen the gear that I'm wearing, but not seen the stat page. We'll add that in once we have run. We only wanted 130. Broken Dragon went nicely. Let's do that. That'll have cleared 130 then, and then we are done for this video. Yippee! And those of you playing along hopefully then have enough time to see how it's not done and play much better than me. To start beaming some of these down. Probably working our way back around. Sorry if it's a bit clicky with the keyboard. I'm finding that skills aren't necessarily triggering when I press the button once. Where do I want to fight the dragon? Somewhere around here. Should have waited for this breath before that beam. Never mind. Oh, standing in a puddle of fire and beaming because I'm not paying attention. It's all good fun. And now we've completely lost control of right click. I'm not going to get upset, I'm going to laugh. I'm so hopeless today. That's a sensible move though. Okay, that was an attempt to attack, but I get knocked back because I'll go rushing in instead of attacking. I am looking forward to the patch to fix that. Yippee! 132 done, so we've reached our 130 target. So there are our glory for that. I probably need to have a think about what I'm going to do for any further pushing. Playing like that. I could use those and upgrade some skills to 10, but that is a waste because I'm not really going to see any further benefit. So what I didn't show you, damage is, it's not too bad, power is good, haste is 5.8 hits per second, so we are attacking at 5.75. Crit damage, I'm not sure why it shows 188. I don't have 188, I have 30 something I think, purely from the medals here. 33. Sorry, 30. I don't think it adds 30 and then 30 next time. I think it's only going to give me 3 more critical rating on the next level. So I'm not sure where it comes up with that 188 value from. Frost damage at 70%, that's okay. Vitality, we've got lots of that. Lots of health, that's good. Lots of armour, I like at least 80% on here. As I said, I've gone with a lot of life on hit, 3,950. Around 2,700 to 3,000 is what I would normally run on my main. Ability rate could have gone higher. I've deliberately kept it around 2,000. Oh, it's 2,700 almost. It's probably higher than it needs to be, but it gives us nice quick cooldowns. We've got maximum alacrity at 2000, so everything over that was a bit of a bonus. But possibly some of that could have gone into other stats, but who cares. Experience, we're still running 523% because of the jewellery that was used in experience farming. Still gaining champion levels because we have got plus EXP gear on still. So we'll add those in, so we'll still get a bit stronger. Not a lot. Okay, that's been rambling and funny and terrible. Hopefully you'll play a lot better than I did, and you'll make whatever targets that you've set yourself. What I will do after this video is have a nice rest until this evening. I shall do my push, which will be 140 to 145 max, because that's all I can be bothered with. And then we're going to have loads of time left on here, and that might go on experience farming just because we've got bonus experience in the event. So a couple of EXP boosters and running 9. Actually, no, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to take a break. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video and been following along with this series. It's not finished yet. Any questions or comments, put them down below and I shall as always answer you there, and thanks for watching.